Hello, my name is Michelle Gunn, and today I'll be reflecting on the leadership interview I conducted with Cheryl Martinez. Cheryl is one of the most educated nurses within health services for Fresno Unified School District, working as a nurse practitioner. Cheryl transitioned from hospital private nursing to working in a more consistent environment of a school district. I admire her personal dedication in leaving a lucrative position at a private hospital to embrace her desire to help children. Her dedication to health and wellness of Fresno's youth is humanizing and has inspired me to become a school nurse. I first met Cheryl as a regular while I was working at Starbucks. I was drawn to Cheryl's warm and inviting personality and the way her energy exudes peace. When I found out that I had the opportunity to work under her leadership, I knew I had to take it. In exactly 2 weeks, I will start my position, and I'm ready to follow in Cheryl's footsteps and make an impact on my own community. Cheryl started off her career in hospitals and working in private sector for many years. She came to know this pattern for nurses who were being promoted within the hospital. They were simply fixers. They were fixers because they were superficially fixing problems. They were not getting to the root of the problems. They were just barely skimming the surface. Cheryl wanted to look beyond that and find the root of the problem. Is it a systematic change that needs to happen? But within the private sector, it's really difficult to initiate change by simply having evidentiary support. So Cheryl left several positions because the political environment did not support or foster change for better practices. Cheryl had recalled one instance in which she was reprimanded by leadership early on in her career because they wanted her to alter documentation on a patient's record after the fact. The hospital was trying to protect their own interests, and Cheryl would not budge on her ethics as a nurse. The hospital still altered the documentation, and Cheryl was subjected to animosity and avoidance by leadership. This is one of the several stories Cheryl shared with me in which her ethical boundaries were met. Cheryl takes these memories with her to work every day, and that's what drives her to be better. Her goal each day is to build a responsible culture of relentless caring staff and to be vigilant about the quality and safety of our services. Cheryl's thriving within health services at Fresno Unified, but she mentioned her desire to redo some of her past experiences, now knowing how to manipulate politics in business. In nursing school, organizational politics are not taught. It is something that you just have to learn through your experiences. So Cheryl uses many tactics now to gain support through Fresno administration. The three tactics that she uses most often are rational persuasion, coalition, and ingratiation. While speaking with Cheryl, I was reminded of this quote by Max Dupree in our book, which stated that leadership is serious meddling in other people's lives. Cheryl's this transformational leader because she's able to inspire and persuade others without opposers feeling forced or manipulated into complying. Cheryl leads with a combination of transformational and charismatic traits. She takes ownership of her work, and holds the same ownership over her subordinates and their work. Cheryl often uses this phrase that her mentor taught her to be a leader from bedside to boardroom. So a great leader never takes time off to be a leader amongst your subordinates and to continue that leadership from working practices and into administrative practices. She says to fight for your patients, for your team, for yourself. Be willing to stick your neck out for others because this will build trust. Cheryl sets a tone for her team and lets her subordinates take ownership. She strives to make the staff feel empowered to make changes on their own and systematic improvements that are in line with the health and wellness of our children. Cheryl warns me not to micromanage all changes because it can hinder good ideas and final outcomes that may be a little rocky in the middle, but in the end, it will become all right. My final question to Cheryl was, what is the one piece of advice that you could give me before I start in the next few weeks? Her advice was to remain humble. You may have a brilliant idea one day and terrible ideas the next 50 days. You have to reflect on your ideas and allow your subordinates and supervisors to challenge what ideas are effective and not effective. Her advice is to appreciate constituents, ask and learn from their feedback. The medical field is ever evolving, and it is narrow to think that one leader has all the right ideas, processes, and answers. Thank you for listening to my presentation.